Coach, let's talk about the Ohio State run game and the offensive line. They got off to a slow start. They've really improved throughout the season under Coach Justin Frye. In fact, they were on a mid-season honor roll for the Joe Moore Award, which is for the best offensive line in the country. We're going to watch, or I'd like you to take us through two basic run schemes that they use.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure on Justin Frye, the offensive line coach, who, by the way, played for you. Also coached for me. Excellent coach, and they had 3 new starters. And someone asked me the question, how long does it take an offensive line to develop? I would sometimes say a year.
Right.
You don't have a year.
Right.
But you have a new center and 2 new tackles, and they at times struggled. This is their best game. TreVeyon Henderson had 24 carries, $162, so had a heck of a day running against a good quality defense. So there's gap and zone. There's other types of runs, but you know, day one install, that means the first plays you put in are either zone or gap. We're going to concentrate on gap. So whenever we had an offensive line struggle, we put in as many gap schemes as possible. You know why? It's very simple rules. I'm blocking my inside gap. I get back on my stance and I come running off the ball. I'm going to hit whatever's inside me. You don't have much to think about. And you pull 2 people. It's called a counter play. So counter play with gap blocking by the offensive line. Let's take a peek here. So let's go from the right to left. You're going to see the right tackle. What's his rule? I'm blocking the inside gap as hard as I possibly can. Watch him here. Comes ripping off the ball. Excellent job. He displaces a good player. Take a look at the right guard. Right guard, no one's on the inside gap, so he's going to work his way up to the inside linebacker, backside linebacker. He's on him. You got hat for hat. Let's look at the left guard. He's pulling. You know what his job is? To kick out. He's going to kick the defender, defensive end. Excellent job. Let's look at Cade Stover, the tight end. His job is to rim it. He's going to rim to the front side linebacker. They have a little window dressing. They have the best player in America, and Marvin Harrison come ripping over the top. Extremely well-blocked play. You get an athlete like that in open space, good things happen.
Always a good scheme when your offensive line comes to the sideline and says they're moving, they're running linebackers through.
Run gap schemes.
Run gap schemes, settle the offensive line guys down. And oftentimes, if you stop the defenses from moving around, you can then go to the zone scheme.
Right. So take a look here. Arguably the most improved offensive line in the Big Ten Conference. They're going to run a zone play. It's a little motion to dress up the play. And they're zoning left. That means the offensive line is responsible for the front side linebacker. The backside guard tackle work up to the backside backer. A little more complicated than the gap scheme we just covered. Gap scheme, remember, you just come screaming off the ball inside gap. There's some movement here. And you don't get to just run off the ball. You got to, this is more lateral movement. You can see just a little different technique by the offensive line. But this is about as well-blocked play as you can do against a good defense. And obviously, TreVeyon's an excellent running back. We call this staying in the crease. So his landmark is going to be the front side guard. He presses the line of scrimmage, slow to, fast through, and he presses off the right tackle's block because they're zoning that 3 technique. And he stays in the crease. Acceleration, great athlete, great back, game-winning touchdown. But once again, Jerry, the offensive line at Ohio State, under a lot of pressure, you know what? It was well-deserved. They weren't very good early, but they're playing very good now.
And to run this scheme, you've got to be athletic, and they've always had an athletic offensive line, but they've really come along under Justin now.
And we know what's coming down the road, so they better get good.